It happened to all of us, at least once, to compare ourselves to others. Or rather, it certainly happened oftentimes, especially at a very young age. I think it's natural. It's inside human DNA to compare what we are, what we have, to what others are and have. And if you noticed, we only compare ourselves to more successful people or to those we believe are successful people. This is due to the fact that we tend to focus our attention on our lacks or on our failures rather than on our accomplishments or our natural skills. We blame ourselves because we didn't get a result as high as our friends did. But we never please ourselves for accomplishing something our friends didn't. Why? Because we live in a society that teaches us to be the best, the most beautiful, the most interesting, outgoing, with the best grades in school. We have to be at the top, no matter what the topic is. This has nothing to do with reality or with nature. I remember a famous quote by Zenshin: "A flower does not think of competing to the flower next to it. It just blooms." It's often useful when we don't know how to cope with a problem to get out our social stereotypes and go back to ancient nature teachings. Well, nature and philosophy don't tell us to compare ourselves to others. Okay, sometimes that could be useful. I remember in high school, I was always in strong competition with the best students. I was in need to have their same results, to be like them. And that was not a good feeling. It caused me sufferings. But at the same time, that competition was absolutely useful because I learned from my competitors things that are still useful to me today, and I studied harder. But nowadays, I believe comparison became excessive. Today, you subconsciously compare yourself to others without even realizing it. Just think about when you open up your Instagram account. It seems that the world is made of incredibly good-looking people, rich, driving luxury cars, living in huge houses, and the list is long. So how can you stop comparing yourself to others when it's enough to hold your phone in your hand and you are literally boomed by these strangers' lives that seem perfect, even though we should define what perfect means? So how can you stop comparing yourself to others? Is it really possible? Of course it is. The most important thing to do is understanding that different lives cannot be compared. It makes no sense at all. Everyone has a different background, family background, cultural background, economical background. Life is not a race. We don't start the run from the same point. Someone is luckier because of their family background or their economical background, and they just start the run with many advantages in their pocket. On the other hand, another guide could have a difficult starting point and a difficult initial background, so he just starts running with many disadvantages. Now, you cannot measure the success of someone without knowing who's that person, and even worse, would be trying to use the same measure for your life, where that subjective instrument would lose meaning when applied to your life. You might say, Jerry, you're telling me that success and happiness depend on your position on the starting grid? If you start first, you arrive first? Well, in some cases, it happens. That's life. The world is full of examples like this, but there's an opportunity, a big chance for those who cannot start first, which is they should run faster, which is a metaphor to say that they should create better, they should lose less time, they should work harder, and they will accomplish even better results than the lucky people. The lesson I learned from life is that anytime I start comparing myself to others, I'll try to think that I don't know their lives, their struggles and pain, so it makes no sense to compete. On the other hand, I'll try to ask myself, what can I learn from this successful person? Look at this guy, how did he build up his business? Can I learn from him? Look at that girl, how did she get those results? Again, can I learn from her? I will try to switch from comparing to learning. And it's not an easy way, but at the end of the day, comparing myself to others is so boring and such a loss of time. And I would like to finish this video telling you a famous quote by Mark Twain. Comparison is the death of joy. See you guys in the next video.